welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news this Monday morning of what will be a very significant 7 days for Manchester United. And I say that with total confidence because things are going to happen that you want to happen and things are going to not happen that you want it to happen. You will get resolution on things that you need and you will get answers on things that you've been waiting for. Some for weeks, some for months, some for a few days. But look, there is a very interesting headline to hit off with here, and that is that Sergio Reguilon and Thiago have both received bids from Manchester United, or Bayern Munich and Real Madrid have. Now, look, this is, and a lot of you will have heard it already, there was, obviously Spain had a game last night, and Ian Crocker, who was one of the Sky commentators, actually did say, as I said earlier, and then words to the effect of, as I said earlier, speaking to the Spanish camp, bids have gone in from for Thiago from Liverpool and United, and from Manchester United for Sergio Reguilon. So these, I mean, look, this is what's been said there. It's on Sky Sports. You can see the clips out there on Twitter. So it's, you know, that's the breaking news this morning. Manchester United have apparently put bids in for those players. Now, what I would say is, I don't think we have. I genuinely don't think we have, and I don't want to be the prophet of doom on this, but I can only go with information, and I genuinely do not think we have put bids in yet. I really do not think we've put bids in yet, because look, I've got nothing against that Sky Sports commentator, and you know, but it just, even when he said it, I didn't believe it. I just didn't feel that the conviction was there. I think, all right, you've spoken to the Spanish camp. I think there's definitely interest from Manchester United for those players, but I don't think we've put bids in, because I think we would know from people who are the people who normally break this news if we put bids in. And also, Manchester United don't put bids in until they've got agreement with the player. Well, how have we got agreement with Thiago when he's still talking about staying at there? And how have we got an agreement with Reguilon when he's still considering his options? So I don't believe that we have put bids in, because I think bids offer a real finality to a deal. And if we've put bids in, I think we're going to get both those players. So, and I don't think we're going to get both those players. And that is based on conversations. But to be honest with you, let's just say it's based on opinion, because I don't think we are. And I would love to get both players. I'm not denying that. I mean, Thiago, I think in the midfield that we've already got would take us up another level. And I think, you know, Reguilon is a very good left back that would give us another left-footed left back, which I think we do need. But as we go into this big week, and it's a really big week, and the reason it's a big week is because you are going to get resolution on Sergio Reguilon. He's going to decide his future, and whether that's United or not, that's going to happen very, very soon. The same is going to happen with Thiago very, very soon. And of course, Jadon Sancho is going to kick off this week. From Wednesday, I think, forget Reguilon, forget Thiago. I think from Wednesday, and probably from Wednesday until we play our first game, which is a week and a half away, I think it's all going to be about Jadon Sancho. And that, to me, is fantastic, because I think we need to get this deal done. But also, I just think we're dealing with the world's biggest signing of the summer. Do you think United are going to be working on Sancho and then also going, oh yeah, let's have a bit of Reguilon, let's have a bit of Thiago, let's have a look at the centre back? I think when we kickstart this Sancho deal that's been waiting to be kickstarted and finalised for quite a while, it's going to take all the focus in the media, from you, from the club. So I think it's going to be a very big week for Manchester United. If we sign Thiago, Sancho and Reguilon with Van der Beek already signed, we had a better window than Chelsea. What you say, Mark, says Adil. Well, you know, let's sign those players before we make an idea about what our transfer window is. As I've said before, Van der Beek and Sancho are very good signings, but it's not a great transfer window because we haven't filled the priority positions that you should do as a football club. You know, the reality is, if you've got a car and you know, you're wanting to win the race next season, and you buy the best tyres and the best engine, but you don't put you know, a roof on it, you know, it's not going to be very fast, because it's not going to be very aerodynamic. And you know, and I feel that United needed to get a centre back, a midfielder, and a right winger. I think we'll get two of those, but who the centre back is, I don't know. So if you can sign any Asian player that is not Son Heung-min, who would you sign to Manchester United, says Brian Harkness. I genuinely have got no opinion on that, to be honest with you. I'm not a big encyclopedia on Asian players. The one I would go for would be Son. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I said this at the weekend. I would say that Son is better than Rashford, and I don't really like to say that sort of thing about players that aren't Manchester United players, but I really do rate Son. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think he's massively underappreciated because I don't know why that is. Welcome to the members club, Sia. And look. So let me just carry on with this. So the breaking news is really that the Sky Sports commentator of the Spain game yesterday said that he'd spoken to the Spanish camp and bids have gone in from Manchester United for Reguilon and Thiago. This has sent a lot of people into excitement, and I agree with that excitement. I don't know, why you wouldn't be excited about that, because those words were spoken. I just think those words have been misinterpreted. Well, they haven't been misinterpreted. I just don't think they're accurate. And if they are accurate, then I would expect to get both players, because United don't bid unless they've got the player on lockdown. What we do as a football club, and what a lot of clubs do really, is if I want to buy Matrix from YouTube comments who says we need to sign Chunks, well, I'm not buying him now, let me pick somebody else. You had your chance and then you said something silly. If I buy Ollie Bolt, who says, can you say happy birthday to my mate Harry, happy birthday Harry, and I buy Ollie Bolt, right, and he plays for Bayern Munich, and I bring Ollie up and I say, do you want to come to United? And he says yes. We agree, right, this is what we're going to give you, happy with that? Yeah, great. Bayern Munich, we want him, bid goes in, we get him. If Ollie says no, I'm not going to put the bid in. So, what if we've put a bid in for Reguilon and we put a bid in for Thiago? Both those players will sign for United, because we wouldn't put a bid in if we didn't know we were going to get the player. That's just the way it works. So, let's see what happens with that. My feeling is, and I'm not going to hide this, and I know it's never the news that people want, but let's see what happens with us, because last week I had to say something and people didn't like it. I think it's only Sancho. Rest is passing time by, says Shiam. Well, you know what? I think you've timed that perfectly. Hi, Mark. Love the show. I think Sancho will be the next week. Very confident, Mark. Can you give a shout out to my wife, Tamara? She loves the show, says Mikhail. Shout out to Tamara. Hope you're having a good day. And hey, Mark, 2 a.m. here in South Cali. Forget Thiago and Reguilon. I think our focus should be on finishing the Sancho deal. Anyone else after is a plus, says Ralph Jose. So look, a week ago, it all broke out about Upamecano. We just had the massive high weekend of a very quick, efficient deal for Donny van de Beek. And we went into the start of the week last week with Upamecano. And I had to say, look, I'm hearing we're not even in for him. We're not going to get him. And lo and behold, that happened. I said that there would be some big news for Manchester United around the back end of the week. And lo and behold, it was Sergio Reguilon. And that's been the big news. And you've even got certain people who were on this channel last night telling everybody that he's got a source and we're going to sign him. I mean, that terrifies me. It terrifies me what he said there, because as Ricky said, the only sauce he's got is the one he puts on his pie. And I think we're fine with Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Williams. No need for Reguilon. Also, can you please wish my mate Ethan Murphy happy birthday? Loving the show, says MLJ. Happy birthday to Ethan Murphy. I don't see where Ollie Bolt would fit into our squad, says Robert McCormack. And I don't believe the Glazers have any loyalty to the fans, which makes it easy for them to walk away from the Sancho deal, says Jake Pennington. Well, we'll talk about Sancho in a moment, because there is feeling that United are not going to do this Sancho deal. More and more, there is talk of the agent fee. And we've seen this before. United do try this. They will try this. They will try and see if there is a way they can resonate with you, the fans, that you go, yeah, let's walk away. He wants too much money, which isn't going to work this time. But United will try it, because ultimately, what happens if United walk away from a deal? Why would you, as a United fan, ever beat your chest about walking away from a deal unless they're going to get somebody better? Because if they walk away from a deal, they just keep the money in their pocket and we don't get the player we need. So this is why I'm absolutely convinced United will sign Sancho, because it's not a deal that they can walk away from. We'll recoup the money back if we win titles, says Paddy. And I understand wanting depth, but why the sudden obsession with a left back? Luke has been grand. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has no one. If we're not going for a priority, why not look at right back? Yeah, that's probably true. So last week we spoke about Upamecano, and I said I don't think that's going to happen, and it upsets a lot of people. And I know it's never nice to give bad news, but I don't think we're getting Thiago. I don't think we're going to get Sergio Reguilon. And I would like both, and they would give us some squad depth. But there's a reason for this. Both players are going to cost you around 50 to 60 million quid for positions that actually we're not Chelsea and are not priorities. And we would like both of those players, but we are not that football club. When do Man United go and buy backup players or non-priority position players? And I know Reguilon, a lot of people say he's better than Luke Shaw, and that's your opinion. And I know Thiago is probably better than some of our midfielders, but we've already got a lot of midfielders now. The priorities for United are right wing and a centre-back now that we've got Donny van der Beek. I don't think Manchester United are even in for Sergio Reguilon seriously, and I don't think we're in for Thiago seriously. And the reason I think that is because I think we're in for Sancho seriously, and I think that's the one that's going to take the priority. And look, I want us to get those players, but I've said many a time, even Fabrizio Romano's tweet yesterday, we've been offered Reguilon. We've been offered him like many other clubs have been offered him, and we are considering it. That's not concrete news. That's not what we had with Van der Beek. We didn't get offered him. We have not been offered Jadon Sancho. These are players that we want. I think this is a nice to have, and I don't think United do nice to have. And I'd be absolutely ecstatic if we do it, because it would be like I said yesterday, well, maybe United have been offered this player and it's not a priority for this summer, but maybe it was something they were looking at in the future that suddenly landed on their plate and they said, yes, we'll eat that. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to fit in with what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks. So I don't think we're going to get Sergio Reguilon. And as for Thiago, look, I tend to focus on the German outlets, and Bild are talking about Barcelona maybe, but Liverpool favourites. Wijnaldum to Barcelona, Thiago to Liverpool. There is not much mention of Manchester United. So unless we're going to swoop in and do something, which we could, I just don't think, and you can take think, no, I've been told, opinion. You can interpret think however you want. You can take it as I think. You can take it as I've been told. You can take it as opinion, whatever. I don't care. I don't think we're going to sign Reguilon or Thiago. And I don't want to deliver that news. And I want you to hope and I want you to believe. And, you know, I hope as well. But I don't think we are going to get them. Mark, we talk about how bad we are at signings. Little notice goes to selling. We are so inefficient at shipping the deadwood. A director of football buys but also uses contacts to sell efficiently, says Shuddy. And when we were all excited, the talks cooled off. Now people are apprehensive. Talks will begin and deal will be done before our first game. Cheers, says Shiam. I don't know which player he's actually talking about. But I do agree with Shuddy that we should be doing better. Pardon the pun, Shuddy. But we should be doing better on players walking out of the door. I think Alexis Sanchez was a brilliant removal from the club. It was like removing a boil from your arse. We can all sit down now and actually relax. So I'm glad he went, but so much more should have been done. Jesse W says you're a pessimist. I mean, I'm not a pessimist, actually, because look at what I'm saying about Sancho and has been saying for a long time. And many of you don't believe it. So I've always said it will happen. I've always been 90% sure about Sancho. To me, my opinion is a lot based on conversations and people that I talk to. And I don't believe we're in for Reguilon and I don't believe we're in for Thiago. I want to believe it and let's see what happens, but I still don't believe it. With Sancho, I don't want to believe that what people are saying that it's not going to happen, because from what I know, it will happen. And what I think is going to happen is Thiago and Reguilon is going to get resolved very quickly because they're now no longer playing for Spain. They've done their 2 games in the Nations League. Last night was their last game. They'll now be free to not go on holiday because Bundesliga starts on Saturday, I think. I think La Liga starts soon. If anyone can confirm that, I've not seen those start dates. So they go straight back to, after a couple of days off. They're not going on holiday. A lot of people do the internationals in the summer and I'm off on holiday now, and you don't hear anything for a couple of weeks. So it's going to be immediate what happens around them. We're going to get resolution on them. Tomorrow night, England are playing against Denmark. Sancho will play, and on Wednesday morning, he will be back in Germany or he'll be back in England with a couple of days off. We play a week on Saturday. The Premier League starts on Saturday. I don't know when the Bundesliga starts, but Sancho is going to be going back to Germany to prepare for a game for Dortmund. Now, United, from Wednesday, have got to get their foot on the pedal. And that's what I'm expecting this week. Escalation. I've said this before. Between 7th, 8th, 9th, between the 10th and the 14th, I think Jadon Sancho will sign for Manchester United. So between Thursday and actually you can probably take Saturday and Sunday out because he's not going to be officially announced as holding up the shirt on a Saturday and Sunday. But this Thursday probably a bit soon. Friday, next Monday, next Tuesday, next Wednesday. I'd say one of those 5 days is the day that Jadon Sancho should be signing for Manchester United. I'm not going to say will because it still could go to the end of the end of the month or early October. But the escalation of the Sancho deal has to begin on Wednesday because United have got no excuses anymore to keep stalling. Welcome to the Members Club, Callum Swift, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thank you. And Alex Lone, thank you very much. Mark, we're in for a Polish youngster called Haywood, says Jams. And Spark says, what's so wrong in trying a diamond with our best midfield with Rashi and Martial up front? Offers lots of depth in all positions. Fred, Scott, Mason, Odion. Oh, God. It makes you want to throw up on a Monday morning. Let's play a diamond with Van der Beek, Matic, Pogba and Bruno, 4 midfielders who after about 65 minutes get tired, so you have to bring on the likes of Scott McTominay, Andres Pereira and Fred. That's not quality and depth. We're trying to build quality and depth. And also, if you play Rashford and Martial up front, Rashford's terrible in a front two. He's a wide player. And also, what you're going to do with Greenwood and Sancho, put them on the bench. So, no, not for me. The diamond is a horrible, horrible system for Manchester United, and it would absolutely expose a lack of squad depth again. We've got to stick with the system that we play and that we're used to, and we've got to have quality players on the bench at times. What is the date before which signings are to be made so that they can play for us in the first game, keeping in mind the COVID regulations, says Shawnuk. And thank you, Mark, but I don't know it, by the way. And thank you, Mark, but the board need to get their fingers out and help Man United just to get the deals done. Sancho for 90 million plus add-ons, that's the deal, says Paddy. There is a little bit of news to bring you on players walking out of the door. Chris Smalling specifically is Roma's #1 target. However, the deal has slowed down because Roma have got to sell a player. Oh God, Monday morning. They've got to sell a player so that they can buy Smalling. So it's going to happen, but that deal's taken a little bit of time. Have you had a chance to check out Kim Min, says Brian Harkness? No. And don't disrespect Fred, Mark, says Takud. Well, I don't disrespect Fred. But where I will disrespect in inverted commas Fred, McTominay and Andres Pereira is that if you start Bruno, Donny and Paul and you bring on McTominay, Pereira or Fred for any of those, the creativity drop off is championship standard. Like Fred's got hardly any goals and assists. Pereira's hardly got any goals and assists. And McTominay really isn't creative. He can chip in with a goal, but he's not creative. So that's what I'm talking about. You need creativity off the bench at times, and you're not going to get that with Fred. Fred to me is the deputy for Matic. I think that's where I want to see Fred playing. Deeper role, where he can highlight his real skills, which are his tenacity, his ability to win the ball back, and his energy. So yeah, I don't disrespect Fred. I just don't see him as a replacement for Pogba, Bruno or Donny. Mahrez and Laporte have tested positive for COVID-19, says Rory McLean. Well, they won't be playing at the weekend then. And McTominay will go to Spurs in the future, mark my words, says Matthew Stewart. I don't think Manchester United would want to get rid of him. I do need a bit of caffeine, Roy Zaberts. And Pogba will be back. Without a shadow of a doubt. And James Holmes, latest member of the United Stand Members Club, thank you very much. And Shaw as left centre-back and Wan-Bissaka as right centre-back, thoughts, says Haroon. Oh my God, it's Monday morning. People have woken up and they're in a weird mood, I think. I tell you what, though, I'll come to this in a minute, but with regards to the fan opinion, I'm always a big champion of fan opinion, and I woke up this morning and talking about Monday morning, woke up this morning and there's a little clip going around from ESPN where they've got Steve Nicol, who used to play in the late 80s for a very good Liverpool side. So he used to play right back actually. He'd sort of, I suppose he'd be a bit of a Poundland Gary Neville. I mean, look, Liverpool fans will go mad. Steve Nicol better than Gary. But reality is, I was very young then, so I can't honestly give you an opinion. But Steve Nicol was quite an important player for Liverpool when they were good in the late 80s. He's on ESPN a lot now. He can't keep his mouth shut about Man United, but to be fair, I don't watch it enough to know how much he probably talks about other clubs. Anyway, he stood in front of this screen, and it's flop and not, and he's got United players, and he's got Fellaini as not a flop, but as a flop, he goes and puts Anthony Martial, and he says he's a sort of player who get you the sack. Plays rubbish for 3 games. You bring him off, and he goes and scores a worldie. Infuriating. And I was like, I thought, you know what? I actually quote tweeted it on Twitter because my point is, and this is a present for you on a Monday morning to make you feel good if you're feeling a bit down. There is a very good ex-Liverpool player who won titles for Liverpool. Like, you know, he's not Mark Noble. He actually did play in a very, very good Liverpool side, unfortunately. There he is as a paid ex-player pundit talking out of his arse. And this is what I mean about ex-players. They're much the same as you. Some of your opinions are terrible, but some of them are brilliant. And that's what these ex-players, they're just people with opinions. Their ability or achievements as an ex-player does not have an impact on what their opinion as a pundit or a fan is. And I think there's loads of examples, and we can all think of lots of examples, and we can all think of some of our ex-players who will go, oh, they're really intelligent on that, and then they'll talk out their arse about something else. But are they talking out their arse, or is it just opinion? And this to me is the most important thing about this community that we've built with the United Stand, is that fan opinion actually holds way more sway than these plonkers they get who used to play at a high level and get paid to talk absolute nonsense. I would rather listen to you lot and interact with you lot every second of every day, because what we get fed by the mainstream media is shocking. And at some point, they're going to have to start treating you with more respect, because there is absolutely no logic to just obsessing about the opinions of ex-players when the constant crap they come out with. And I don't know whether they're being handed this crap. For all I know, Steve Nichol's like, oh no, I don't want to say that. And they're like, say it, we'll get loads of clicks. But I'm looking an idiot. Look at your bank balance. Maybe they're actually being fed this stuff to talk about. I don't know. But Saeed is saying that Reguilon is going to sign. He's 100%, and according to him, he has extremely good sources, says Dennis. He's got really good sauces. He's got that really nice expensive barbecue one that you can get from Tesco. He's got that Reggie sauce. He's got tomato ketchup. He's got bread sauce. He's got horseradish sauce. He's got it all. He's got really good sauces, but he's got no football sauce at all. He guesses, like loads of people does. So if he guesses right about Reguilon, happy days. We're all very, very happy. But if he guesses wrong, well, you just expose yourself for your prat opinions that you have about Koulibaly and Harry Maguire. So you just got to be. I think people just want what I've said before is, when it comes to opinion, when it comes to transfer news, right? Why would you ever want to believe anybody, including myself, over someone like Fabrizio Romano, who probably sleeps about 3 hours a night for 6 months during the summers, and has lawyers, players, agents on his WhatsApp, and he might not even use WhatsApp, but you know what I mean. He actually, and even he can't get everything right because the transfer landscape changes very, very fast. But why would you even believe that Saeed or me or an ITK account knows more or before Fabrizio Romano does? It's just, I've lived this world for 20 years. The transfer news thing is 99.9% is about trying to be first and guessing right, and that's what it is. And that's why the blossoming and brilliance of someone like a Fabrizio Romano and a few others is music to the ears. Because imagine a world without Fabrizio Romano in it. We would have to go along with what Saeed's saying. We would have to go along with hashtag I'm ITK whatever bollocks. Fabrizio Romano is that calm in a world of shit, and other sources as well. So I wish I did get a quid every time I said Fabrizio Romano, says Suge, but I don't. What do you think about Dalot as a backup right winger if we get Sancho? Says Cozy Thunder. Well, Dalot is one of those players that we should be looking to move on, surely. He's not a player that Ollie trusts. He's a player that many of you like, and he's a player that to be honest with you, I sit with Ollie on this. I don't see a future at Manchester United for Dalot. That doesn't mean he won't go somewhere else and be really good. I just don't. For me, he's never really grabbed me as a Manchester United player. But he needs to be moving on. There's talk of Everton with him. There's another club that have expressed interest. Of course, PSG and Barca have been sniffing around a bit in the past. Wouldn't you class Van der Beek as a surprise signing, says Matt Carroll. And do you believe this year United could win the league, says Jimmy Cartwright. United could win the league this year, but I think it's very, very, very unlikely, and I wouldn't predict it. But Van der Beek, I would say, was a bit of a surprise signing. It was a signing we all wanted. You know, we spoke about it for a long, long time, what a good player he'd be for United, how he fits the profile, how we should be looking at a player like that over a Jack Grealish because he's half the price and probably better. And I was surprised at how quick we did it. So, yeah, there was an element of surprise. I was surprised at the competence. I suppose, actually, in a sentence, I was surprised at the competence of Manchester United to go and get a player that many of us have been talking about for a long time, who was cheap, but talented, and how quick they did it. So I was surprised, yeah. Bundesliga starts on Friday the 18th and La Liga starts on Saturday the 12th. Thank you, Stuart Taylor. So that's quite interesting. Reguilon needs to decide what he's doing this week because he'll be playing a game on Saturday for Sevilla or Real Madrid. He's a Real Madrid player. He could go on loan to Sevilla again. Bundesliga starts on Friday the 18th, so that gives a little bit more time on the Sancho deal, doesn't it? Because he's not going to be playing a game for Dortmund at the weekend, but there may well be a game for him to play in as a pre-season game. So United do need to escalate this, but obviously, you know, in fairness to United, they can't escalate the Sancho deal while he's part of the England setup, and he will be part of the England setup until Wednesday morning. Alternative to Sancho, says Azus. There is no alternative to Jadon Sancho. There is no alternative to Jadon Sancho. The quality of Sancho is on a level where there is no alternative that is actually available. You're going to drop off. Do you play fantasy? Who do you select from Man United, says Alfred. I do play it, and we will definitely get you the league code back up again. It's on our Discord at the moment. Thanks to Lohesh, who's confirmed that as well. And do you think a centre-back could be bought after the start of the season if we look weak at the back, says Adam Orchard. Look, I wouldn't rule out, and Reguilon did get injured, but he's out injured for a week. So that's a very good point. I wish I'd said that earlier. Reguilon did get injured yesterday. There was talk of him being out for 3 months. He's been injured. He's out for a week. He's tweeted himself that he'll be back in a week's time. Career mode will be happening yet later on today. I still think we will sign Josh King towards the back end of the transfer window. And look, I do also think that just because the league starts on Saturday and Manchester United start on the 19th, there's still 2 more weeks of the transfer window after that. I think you're going to see United players leaving when the season started. I think some people won't make the bench and will realise, look, I've got to go. And there is a potential that United could make a move. But the centre-back thing is very interesting. Who is the centre-back that we're actually looking to bring into the club? Because I'm not so sure that there is. We have got 7 centre-backs, and maybe that's what we're going to go with. Twan Sebi has a foot injury because you wanted to know, says R3D. That's a bad foot injury for a year, isn't it? You know, what foot injury is it to have to be out for a year? Who did you select from Manchester United, Alfred? Bruno. I think if you're going to play Fantasy Premier League this year and you want to put a Man United player in, my top 3 suggestions would be Bruno, who I think is just, whatever the price, will get goals and assists. He's absolutely tailor-made for Fantasy Premier League. So Bruno would be my number 1 choice. Rashford's not a bad choice because he's classed as a midfielder, so he will get a lot of goals from midfield. So Rashford's not a bad shout. And probably Martial, if he can stay fit, he will score a lot of goals as well. If Sancho comes in, I'd probably get rid of Rashford and put Sancho in. So my top tips would be Bruno, Martial and Sancho when it happens. I wouldn't go for Donny van der Beek. I don't know that he's going to start enough games to get you the points. And I know a lot of people will go, I want Van der Beek because he's new. I wouldn't go anywhere near him as a Fantasy Premier League player at the moment. Defenders, I wouldn't go near because I still think that defence is going to ship goals. Goalkeeper as well, I wouldn't trust at the moment. Let's see how we start. But it's as we are confident, I'd go Bruno and Martial and Rashford, and then if Sancho comes in, I'd put Sancho instead of Rashford. Let's have a look if there's anything else to bring you. Sometimes we do get stuff at this time. We have got an 8 o'clock show tonight, of course. We're live every night on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. Subscribe if you're new. Bottom right corner. And also, I will be doing career mode on Mark Goldbridge That's Football, so you can tune in for that if you want. And that is that. That concludes the morning show. Thanks everyone for watching. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Fantastic community. You're absolutely brilliant. I hope you all have a good start to your week. And as I said, as a summary, Reguilon and Thiago bids apparently gone in from United, but I don't believe it. But it's going to be a big week. I think you're going to get a decision on Reguilon, a decision on Thiago, and I think the Sancho deal will start to escalate from Wednesday. My personal opinion, and you can say I've been told it, whatever, I don't care. I'm going to call it an opinion. Sancho will be the only deal that we actually do this week. I don't even think it will be done this week, but I think it will progress this week. I don't think we're getting Reguilon, and I don't think we're getting Thiago. But look, I hope we do. I hope we do. I don't think we will. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Next video, we've signed Reguilon, hopefully.